So, beginning of this month, I put out a video called My Validation Story, and I am so happy with the product of that particular video. I went through a lot of footage that I shot through 2018, 19, some footage that I've shot this year, and I just took a lot of my time in October working on it and just putting and placing it together. I had mentioned that the videos I wanted to put out, the following videos that I wanted to put out were going to be very intensive. And I really just love the product that, came of it. And somehow, a lot of the people that ended up watching that video also really resonated with what I was talking about in the video, which has always been looking for validation from people we don't even know. And what happens with every successful project that I have, or every project that I feel has been successful to my standards, I have always ended up being in a place where I feel very overwhelmed. So honestly speaking, I genuinely think that my validation story was a good video. I think it had a message in it. I think, people resonated with it. But then I do not understand why it is that every time I do something that is really good, I start feeling overwhelmed and unable to kind of keep on going with the flow of ideas that I have. I have this list of so many ideas for my videos that I have, and I think because I have all these ideas in a list, it should be easy for me to just go in, pick an idea and start working on it. But then I found myself in a place where I was looking at each and every idea and feeling like each and every idea was good and deserved to be done in that moment. So if it is, talking about camera phones, I felt that idea was good, but then it really didn't fit into this place right now, so I need to do this other one. But then once I go into that, there's another reason why I give myself the idea that something else is just so much better. So this is something that happens a lot to me. And because I have very many good ideas and really can't pick one out, I end up just stopping whatever it is that I'm doing and then just going to bed, or finding something better to do, sketching or something else. And my ideas never really come to life and they never are consistent. So it takes me very long to kind of put out videos the way I would want them, with some form of consistency. What I've been trying to do in the past few days is trying to look into some of the reasons why I become inconsistent with creativity. Whenever I face a situation where I feel I am not able to be creative in that situation, I kind of try and be aware about what is it in this moment in time that is stopping me from being creative right now. What is it that I can do to kind of go back to that state or that zone of creativity and kind of keep it consistent? Now, in this situation, I was being overwhelmed. I was feeling overwhelmed. I felt like there were so many good ideas. But when I pulled myself out of this situation, I started feeling that maybe the reason was not the list of good ideas. Maybe there was something else behind it. Because having a list of things to do simply means that, I know what I need to do. I can just jump right into those activities and do them without any issue. It is just about picking one thing and working on that. But I'm having a struggle doing that. So the issue couldn't have been just that list of good ideas. I took a little bit more time and started looking at other things other than that list, what it could be that was causing all of these feelings of being overwhelmed. And I came up with two things that I think may be the leading causes of the reasons why I feel overwhelmed and therefore become inconsistent with the work that I do. So the first reason that I came up with was the pressure to keep up. And this mostly stems from the success of previous work. And in this scenario, I had made a video, which was my validation story. And that particular video had gathered a lot of engagement in terms of the amount of conversation that it sparked amongst close friends and, people who watch my videos. I feel that because in some sense that this video was successful, the next few ideas that I had to be just as good as this or even better. So whenever I look through my list of ideas and see, one idea, maybe it is editing videos on your phone. Maybe that's one of the video ideas that I have. And when I think about how I'm going to shoot it, how I'm going to execute it, at the back of my mind, the thing that's constantly going is, will this be better than the last video you did? Will this get more views than the last video you did? Will even more people really talk about this video than the last video you did? So there's that pressure to always make each video get to the standard of the last. And this usually is something that bothers me a lot. And it's kind of irrational because one video may not be made in the same way another video is made, and therefore it is just unfair to myself to consistently compare one idea to another and trying to execute all of them in the same way so that each one is better than the last, if that makes sense. I don't know if that made sense. Let's get into the second reason why I get so overwhelmed. And this is a weird reason, but I think one of the reasons that I also get really overwhelmed is consuming a lot of motivational content. So when you think about motivational content, you're thinking about books, YouTube videos. So if I think about like the channels that I watch on YouTube, there's a lot of Matt Diavela, Ali Abidal, Daniel Tichner. There's just all these self-help channels and motivational channels on YouTube that I'm constantly consuming. Now, the problem with consuming so much of this content is that you will find things that you feel are missing in your life, and you want to focus on each and every one of those things. So the problem with consuming a lot of motivational content is that you are taking in so many pieces of advice and trying to apply all of them into your life at the same time. This can lead you to being overwhelmed. So for example, say you watch something on waking up at 6 a.m, you want to do that. You watch something else on exercising, you want to do that as well. You pick up something on, scheduling, you want to do that as well. So you're picking waking up, exercise, scheduling, something else. You have too many things that you're doing all at once, and it definitely leads to being overwhelmed. And in the long run, it definitely affects the way I create and affects my creativity. So I think the next thing I want to focus on in this video is the question, what do I do, or what do you do when you become really overwhelmed with things? Because this is the only way that I am going to overcome this particular issue and be able to consistently make the stuff that I want, be it at work, my creativity, or, a business or something of the sort. When it comes to being overwhelmed, I think there's two ways that I have tried to manage this. And the first way is through something that is called the focusing question. So earlier in the year, there's this book that I read called The One Thing by, the author's name was Gary Keller. And the whole gist of the book was talking about, the fact that successful people become successful because they focus on one thing at a time. You will not find the highly successful people having focused on 10 things at the same time. They started off with one thing and then moved on to the next. Okay, so What is the focus in question? The focus in question asks, what is the one thing that I can do, and such that by doing it, everything else is unnecessary? When I think about this question, the aim basically is to look at everything that you're doing and kind of trying to figure out, okay, how can I simplify things for myself? What is if I do one thing or a few tasks, not necessarily just one thing or a few tasks, I have completed everything. It helps you just rein in or focus on what is most important in that moment. So this has been very helpful, by the way. It's really helped me just not have very long lists, but have shorter and more focused have a shorter and more focused list, so that I can get my ideas out consistently and without really affecting my creativity in a sense. So the second thing I'm using to really manage being overwhelmed is to walk slowly, moving forward but never backward. So the whole idea behind this concept comes from the fact that for a very long time, as I have been doing photography and just all these creative endeavors I've decided to take on, one of the things that I've noticed with myself is that I seem to make three steps forward and then like 20 steps back. To kind of manage this, what I've decided to do is to work on my ideas slowly, right? So instead of pressuring myself to put out a video every week, I've decided that I'll first start off with a month. And as I get into the rhythm of things, I will start putting out 2 videos a month, and then over time see whether it can go to 3 times a month or 4 times a month, which is now weekly. This is basically to manage the fact that I'm always moving forward and backward because of various things that happen. So feeling overwhelmed, something else comes up and all that. So I'd rather pick one idea, work on it slowly, and then get done with it and then gradually move on. But remember, there's a deadline. So it's a month. I have to do it within a month. And that is why, this year I feel I have done more videos than ever. I think I've put out 10 videos, and that has been a video every month for the last maybe 10 months. 10 months, I think so. Yeah. And, that is moving forward slowly, but not backwards. So I don't have like one video coming out this week and then I say I'll put out a video next week and then I miss it. And then it misses for another 3 weeks and, stuff like that. So work slowly. It avoids you being overwhelmed with so much work. Okay. So yeah, that's how I that's basically, how I'm managing all of this. I definitely want to remain a lot more consistent with my ideas and how I'm working with them. But I also don't want to, stall the process of creativity, because I really enjoy being in that state. And therefore, making more videos on some of the things that inhibit my creativity is something I feel like will not just help me, but also help you guys with kind of like understanding just how to stay consistent and how to continually put out and, engage in the things that you love and enjoy. So I thought this would be an interesting video. If you do like the video, please make sure to subscribe and try and watch my other videos as well. There's kind of some interesting information on creativity there as well. I think moving forward, I want to make more videos concerning now photography because this is the camera phone adventures and I haven't focused on that for a while. So those will also be coming up next in the next few videos. So I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.